Welcome. We bid you welcome. And if you happen to be watching this live on Wednesday, Merry Christmas, because it'll be Christmas Day when this comes out. So there you go. John Clauser, Johnny Metal, the Metal Dad, coming to you from a music corner of the world. My co-captain, John the Music Nut, from the Music Nut program. If you have not subscribed to his channel, please do so. John, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well, my friend. How about you? Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. Yes, absolutely. Well, we have come to the end of yet another catalog journey. We have been through Wasp, we have been through Armored Saint, we have been through EZO, we touched on Pride and Glory, we did Dangerous Toys, we spent half a year with Judas Priest, and today we wrap this dog up to the limit, Humanoid. The last and current album that came out in my notes just left me that quickly. Came out April 26th, 2024. Recorded 2023 through 2024 up at Backstage Recording Studios in Derbyshire, England, on Napalm Records. So they've switched labels. Still got Andy Sneap behind the production thing, but again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it because we're gonna sound like a broken record on this episode. 48 minutes, 13 seconds. Good reviews for the most part. There's not a ton of them out there that have been published,
Right.
but there are some out there. There were three singles, all pre before the pre-release before the album. Humanoid came out at the end of February of 2024. The Reckoning came out in end of March 2024, March 27th, and Frankenstein 2 days before the album was released, April 24th of 2024. So we got those. A little bit of chart action. Again, there's no Canadian or U.S. charts, but I'm just going to run through these real quickly. Austrian charts, number two. The two Belgian charts, the Flanders, number 58, and the Wallonia, number 121. Finnish charts, number 19. The German charts, official top 100, number 5. So it's a slight bit down from the last couple of albums. Hungarian physical albums. That's an interesting chart. Number 39. Japanese albums, the Oricon, number 45. Japanese hot albums, which is Billboard Japan, 57. Polish album charts rather, number 4. Scottish albums, number 45. Swedish, number 22. Swiss, number 6. UK album downloads, number 41. UK independent albums, number 13. And UK rockin' albums, number 7. So there we go. So we have some good little chart action. My guess is with maybe with the states and everything again with all the downloads, it would be kind of nice to have seen like an iTunes chart or an Amazon chart or if
Right.
any of these download charts or Spotify charts. Again, I guess I don't know if they have that kind of availability for that kind of stuff out there, but anyway, John the Music Nut, let's do it. Let's finish this up.
All right. Thanks, John. Okay. Tighter album. Like it. Don't love it. Few highlights. A lot like what you've been hearing from the Mark era. The question is, how are the songs? Diving into Sin. Predictable opener with the slow burn. Not predictable at start with an Indian feel, which is cool. And then they get into the riffs, and it's resembling Judas Priest in the delivery. It's riveting. Short bridge on here. Changes up musically during the solo, which is cool. Decent opener. We've heard it before. Title track. Now, this I like. We got nice double bass on this in the first part of verses, but not doing it in the second, which is very Stephen Kaufman like. Cool guitar lines on here, in especially between the verses. Pre-chorus is strong. The first part of the solo, they slow the tempo down and they pick it up. This is a very good second track. Frankenstein, We got the call and response with the two tonic choruses in I'm sorry, the two tonic harmonies in the choruses. Nice chorus on here. It is formulaic. There are some decent riffs. We slow down. We have a nice cerebral pre-chorus, which is cool. And there is a bridge in here that's pretty decent as well. Man Up. One of the first two songs on here reminds me a lot of AC/DC, or in
Mm.
this case, Two's Up by AC/DC off of Blow Up Your Video.
Oh yeah, there you go.
It does remind me a lot of Two's Up, but we're going more with those poignant, move forward lyrics from the Mark era. Life kicks you down, you dust yourself off, get back on the horse again. The structure's very AC/DC's. The AC/DC, the choruses ring. I'm sorry, in the verses, they let those chords ring. And it's a good song. Great chorus on it. The Reckoning. The Reckoning opened the tour. In my opinion, The Reckoning should have opened the album. This is the best song on the album. I love those twin guitars at the beginning and throughout the song. The two tonic harmonies, the call and response on these on the verses, killer. Excellent. The chorus is very strong. The double bass fills from Christopher Williams, excellent. This is the best song in the album. I don't know if it's as good as some of their catchier songs from the Mark era, like Overnight Sensation or Teutonic Terror or even Shadow Soldiers, but I think this is the best song. Nobody Gets Out Alive. Solid, formulaic, good chorus, nice pre-chorus, cool melodic solo. You've heard it before. Ravages of Time. We continue the ballads like we had on The Best Is Yet to Come. And once again, Mark does a great job on the vocal. Wolf's guitar lines on this are very classy. Lyrically, it's a little on the predictable side, but it has a nice message. Nothing is forever, something's got to give, so you've got to live. Great message. They do a very good job on this one. Unbreakable, more spirited, more driving, strong riffs on this. Martin Molick and Christopher Williams leading the way in the first part of verses, and then the guitar riffs kick in. This is cool. We got a nice bridge on here. A lot of bridges on here are short. And we're thinking Wolf's going to kind of go classical in the solo, but then he kind of backs off and goes more heavy metal. This is a very good track. Mind Games, it's all right. It's not that hot. We do have a better bridge on this than a lot of other songs on here. Played well, nice vocal melody, doesn't stand out. Straight Up Jack, holy AC/DC. Be lyrically, musically, the delivery, very Brian Johnson AC/DC.
Yep.
But it's catchy. So it works. South Side of Hell is a great closer. They come out all guns blazing on here. Great solos on this. The band actually started putting this in in their live show, and they were taking out Breaker for a little while. So they obviously think pretty highly of this track as well. I think this is a scorcher of a closer, and I think these last two tracks really bumped the album up a little bit from where I would have originally ranked it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's solid. Humanoid, it's solid. It's not one of the best of the Mark era, but there's some good songs on here. I certainly like The Reckoning and the title track and South Side of Hell. I go with a 6.5 on this one.
Ooh, okay. Right. Yeah. Like I said, folks, you're gonna hear a broken record here because I can't really say much a whole lot different. I love this is another album that I would go back to and repeat listen to because again, it just Sneap left off on the gas with the production with this. It doesn't
Yes.
feel so heavy bludging coming at you. So this album was a little bit more of an enjoy, like this and To Me to Die were a little bit more enjoyable to listen to on my ears, and it makes it easier to do repeat listens to. Now you didn't get a version that has a bonus track, correct?
I did not.
Okay, you did not. Okay, I have a bonus track of mine. I'll get to that.
Cool.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I love yeah, diving into sin. Yeah, gotta love that deep gang vocal, diving into sin. Yeah, that's love the Middle Eastern flavor in the intro. Let's see. Again, I agree. I don't want to sound like a broken record. There's a lot of Priest feel songs on this album to me,
Yes.
or that whole power metal vibe. There's a lot of that. So I'll agree. I'm just gonna cut that off at the chase. Still very much accept you get Mark really shrieking. If that was if it, I can almost hear Halford doing that same kind of shriek, but hidden in his voice. But it just has that a much more cleaner sound. But yeah, yeah, a lot of songs about breaking from the conformity and just breaking free from all the constraints and just diving into sin and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's what this song. Humanoid. Yeah, kind of part Terminator, part AI. Very punchy track. Went over well live. I thought this was great live. I thought a good killer pre-chorus into the chorus, good stomping march into the solo. I dug this track. One of the better one of that definitely one I can see why they played it live and why it was a single. So good strong. Frankenstein based off the well-known novel. Good chord chugger, sweet pre-chorus. Fun solos, good chorus too. For any Frankenstein fan out there, well, that's you know what that's about. I don't have to go into any lyrical thing with that. Um, Man Up, the longest song on the album, 5 minutes and 6 seconds, or something like that. Yep. Yeah, like you said, life knocks you down, get back up, try to dust yourself off. Definitely AC/DC feel in the intro, maybe a little balls to the wall in the chord feel progression in the verses. Good deep gang vocals in the chorus. The Reckoning, this was another great song done live. Again, you get this Judgment Day revelations accountability kind of deal thing going on. Um, yeah, not really much more I can really say to that. It was just a great song live, and again, one of my favorites from this album. Um, Nobody gets out alive. Yeah, all kinds of people, but death doesn't show any favorites. So it's gonna happen to everybody, whether we like it or not. Good chord riff chugger. Yeah, nice bright feeling in the chorus. There was like almost like a major feel to the chorus. It felt like to me. So that was kind of nice. Ravages of Time. Yeah, nothing lasts forever, like we mentioned. Nice ballad. Again, I kind of agree with you. A little formulaic in how they did it, but it works. Just shows I like how Mark's tender vocals come through sometimes. It's nice to hear that. Unbreakable, Metal Warriors leading the charge. Don't give up. Fight that and find that inner strength to keep on trucking. I think it's a good driving anthem. You got some good wah solos going on here. So that was good fills. Nothing much more I can really say about that. Now here's the bonus track. Hard times, daddy. Hard times. So I thought about doing the Dusty Rhodes further into that, but I'm not going to. Yeah, hard times. Yeah, push forward. Nice slinky bluesy rocker. This is actually a fun little song. It's under 4 minutes. One of this and Straight Up Jack, the only two songs that clock under 4 minutes on this album. But I thought it was a good track for what it is. Mind games, to dream, but deception and psychological struggle. Another good chugger. Yeah, this good strong track though. Straight up Jack, like you said, yeah, holy AC/DC, folks. Whoo boy. Um, just straightforward, no nonsense. Just give it to me straight. That's not much you can really say. And this also sounded really good live too, because they did this one live too. Um, good attitude toward this in the song too. It was a strong one. South Side of Hell, basically just a redemption song leading towards that journey of towards salvation. Fiery closer, definitely a strong closer. Um, I don't know if I don't know where I rank it as far as closers go for the band, but it's definitely up there. But again, I think because it was such an easier album to digest mentally and everything else, I probably would go a little. I might go a little higher than six, and you said 6.5, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I might give this. I probably would give this about an 8, just because it just is. Like I said, it's just easier to digest. It's weird for a metalhead to be able to say something like that, but that's really the truth.
Well,
But I think I must be getting old. Get off my lawn. But anyway, so yeah, so we saw this tour.
yes, we did.
So where I forget where else did they? Well, they're still kind of doing some touring a little bit with this album, mostly in Europe right now.
They just ended on November 30th.
Right, right.
Yeah. And they did end in Europe. So we got 88 dates in 2024. And we started 2 dates on the Monsters of Rock cruise in Miami, Florida in March. And then they went back out in May. And on these dates, they actually had Joel Hoekstra, the well traveled and highly talented Joel Hoekstra, filling in on guitar for Philip Schaus. So they played Karaoke Club in Sao Paulo, Brazil, El Teatro Flores in Buenos Aires, Argentina, Teatro Coliseo, Santiago, Chile, Centro de Convenciones Festival in Lima, Peru. Excuse me a second. Teatro Astor Plaza in Bogota, Colombia. Giangino Municipal Adolfo Pineda in de Santa Tecla, El Salvador.
Oh,
Yes. I don't think we
I don't think
mentioned
we've
El
ever said. I
Salvador.
don't think we've ever mentioned El Salvador before.
Nope,
Cool.
not one time. Yeah.
Love it.
Dada Urbana in Nucalpar, Mexico. Then they took a little break and then they went to Europe. Middle Air Rock Festival, Mogilovo, Bulgaria. Release Athens 2024 in Pernos, Greece. They did Wacken Open Air 2024 in Wacken, Germany. Steelhouse Festival in Ebu Vale, Wales. And Skagerrak 2024 in Regmeyer, Sweden. Then they take a few weeks off. They come to the United States with a double co-line, co-headline, or perhaps you could say they're a special guest with KK's Priest because they were opening every show. And KK had a bigger production and a slightly longer set. So they started at Whiskey A Go Go in West Hollywood, California, Oriental Theater in Denver, Colorado, Rust Belt in East Moline, Illinois, District 142 in Wyandotte, Michigan. We actually got 2 dates in Canada.
Oh,
Queen Elizabeth Theater in Toronto, Ontario, Theater Rialto in Montreal, Quebec, Mickey's Black Box in Lidditz, Pennsylvania, where the incomparable Nick Esquire saw accepts. And then the next date was at the Sherman Theater in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, where John and Davy Cretin and I saw accepts. And then they played the Tally Ho Theater in Leesburg, Virginia, the Hall
nice.
in Little Rock, Arkansas, Sunshine Theater in Albuquerque, New Mexico, the Ace of Spades in
Oh,
Sacramento, California.
oh, nice.
Thank you. And then they took a little break, and now we're going to this is hard to pronounce. Kukachif Park in Istanbul, not Constantinople, Turkey,
Ooh.
Anna Complex, Sanguana, Malta, La Riviera, Madrid, Spain, Le Bikini in Romanville, St.
We
Augustine,
missed
France.
you, Lay Bikini. We missed you.
And apparently, Le Bikini is a franchise because they have them in a few different places in Europe. And they played at Trix In Antwerp, Belgium, Silly Rabbit, Tricks Are for Kids.
There you go. Yeah.
It's actually spelled Trix.
Cool.
Sim City, Vienna, Austria, Les Docks in Lausanne, Switzerland, Red Stage in Budapest, Hungary, Backstage Work in Munich, Germany, Sasa Zoo Prague in Prague, Czechia, Aladdin in Bremen, Germany, Store Vega, Copenhagen, Denmark, Rockefeller Music Hall in Oslo, Norway. Last show, Fry Shoe Set in Stockholm, Sweden. And that was on November 30th. So there you
Wow.
go.
Wow. There you go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just saw a thing on Facebook where I think there's a few dates next year with Judas Priest.
Oh, Judas
Um,
Priest. Okay.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah. I forget when, but I did see an announcement for a few dates next year sometime. So that should be a great show. But go from one priest to another, I guess. But
Okay.
yeah, this was a this was a catalog that was very intriguing. You learn of their beginnings, where they started, and just how they evolved. And by the time Mark came around, they found a formula that really worked, and they employed that basically that AC/DC like vibe. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They just started learning how to tighten it and get
Yes.
and cut out a lot of the fat that maybe like some of the previous albums were suffering a little bit from. Longer songs, 5 6 minute songs. Well, we don't need 5 minute 5 to 6 minute songs. Let's trim these down a little bit. So all in all, a fairly solid catalog. Um, Certainly, good reason to say why Accept is out there as one of the better bands to go see. Definitely one of the top German bands to see, and hear. Um, you know, uh, you got Udo, of course, doing his whole career, and he's got a prolific solo career. I saw he's doing a re-record of Balls to the Wall with a bunch of different guests.
Hmm.
So don't know what that's all about, but hey, power to you. I mean, I think he did a tour where he did that. He did the album in its entirety, if my memory serves me correctly.
I thought he said years ago he was going to do a tour of Accept and go, this is the last time I'm ever going to do Accept material.
Yeah, and then I read, well, the Udo band does the Udo stuff, but the Dirk Schneier band still will do the Accept stuff or something like that.
Okay.
I
Oh,
don't
well,
know.
then
I guess
that's how he looks.
he must have like two or three different bands where he does this type of stuff. I don't know, but
Okay. All
hey,
right.
power to him. I think I don't fault him if he wants to recreate something with special guests. I think every album's track has somebody different guesting on it. And I can't
Okay.
remember everybody, but eh, interesting stuff. So what have you got? What have you got cooking on the horizon or are you going to be kind of slack or taking a break through the holiday season?
Well, I still got Thin Lizzy Thursday going on. That
Right?
will come out December 26th. I'll be doing a review of their live albums during Phil and its lifetime, Live Endangered and Life Live. And I also talk briefly about some of the ones that came out after he passed away. And I will be doing another album after show, probably by the time you watch this, on the Wallflowers album Breach, which followed Bringing Down the Horse, which was a huge seller. So that I'll have going on. And then 2025, a lot of different stuff coming up.
Cool. Very, very cool. Yeah. So for me, let's see. Yeah. So Mortification Monday will have already been out. Uh, Album ranking Tuesday. Yeah. Or album ranking day A to Z. Yeah, that got that going on, and that's pretty much all I have in the pipeline for a while. I think I'm gonna take a little break from extensive music listening for a while. I think I posted I did mention that this made my in my top five albums of 2024, but
Okay.
that's because when I looked at what I bought in 20 that came out in 2024, my list was very, very small. So,
Gotcha.
and I thought, well, what did I spend the most time with? And Obviously, this one I did, and Priest I did, and Warlord, and I can't remember the other two off the top of my head, but I think, oh, Paul Diano's Warhorse and
Saxon,
Saxon. Thank you.
you got
Thank you. Yeah, that was it. Yep, that was it. So yeah, so that was on Ladano's show on Friday. I just kind of threw that in the comments. I didn't wasn't
okay.
actually on the show. I just did a show with young Logan in Sydney, where they had me on, and they were we were talking about Allied forces.
Hmm.
So that, but then they do this thing where they see who's paying attention in the live chat because they live stream the shows. And
Right,
they're like, okay, so who's paying attention and answer a trivia question. And so the album that was picked to do on that show was For Those About to Rock, We Salute You.
right.
Which I'm like, oh yeah, I could talk that one. I had plenty of stories from when that album came out, but yeah, unfortunately though, that album hasn't aged well for me. Not as much as Back in Black or the Bon Scott era. This that one didn't do too well with me anymore. After listen, I had to listen to it in like 30 plus years or more. It'd been
Oh
a
wow.
long time since I listened to the whole album in its entirety. So I started listening to it again. I'm like, hmm, yeah, this is about where the like we were said well, like we've said through the Accept series. This is where the if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And boy, they just kept rolling with that formula, and it worked. But anyway, so that was that you could see on Sydney and Logan's channel, Slogans Rock Extravaganza, something like this, like a really
Something like
long
that. Rock and
some
metal
rock
extravaganza.
and metal extravaganza or something like that.
Yes.
It's a really long title, but it rolls off the tongue, but it's a very long roll. But it's fun. It was good to hang out with the whippersnappers. So there you go. But yeah, I don't yeah, I'm pretty much just gonna continue into 2025 with the Mortification Monday and the A to Z, and we will see what happens, folks. We will see what happens. But anyway, for those of you guys watching this live on as it happens, Merry Christmas. And if not, hey, I hope you have had a great time with this series. Please like, share, subscribe to both our channels and all the many channels I mentioned in the description. Let us know what you think about Humanoid. Where does it rank in your catalog? Yeah, I know we're not doing a ranking show. We just decided we're just going to end this dog because it's just perfect the way it ended off in the year. So anyway, John the Music Nut, my friend, thank you so much, as
Thank you, John.
always.
Thank you.
And rock forever, y'all. See you in 2025 or see you soon. Take care.